And what do you think the outcome of the election is going to be?
That is a tricky
From
one.
a neutral perspective?
Yeah, of course.
From a person who also has ideological beliefs, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, that is a tricky one. I mean, I think you'd have to say, if you look at the lead that the Conservative Party has opened up on the Labour Party, it is a very big lead right now. We're 3 or so weeks out from the election. If you look at the way that the Labour Party, quote unquote, caught the Tories up in 2017, that had already begun to happen, and it was happening faster than it does seem to be happening now. So I suspect that there isn't time for Labour to catch up. Also, if you look at the more sort of fundamental non-headline polling, you see that the Conservatives are a long way ahead of Labour on leadership. Boris Johnson is much more popular than Jeremy Corbyn. He's not that popular, but Jeremy Corbyn is so unpopular that that there is a big gap there, and that does seem to make a difference to voters. And they also seem to be regarded, rightly or wrongly, as more competent on the economy than the Labour Party. And if you put leadership and economic competence together, and you've got a lead on both of those, then normally you will win the election. Now, the caveat, of course, is Brexit. There are clearly some people who might otherwise vote Tory who don't want Brexit, might vote for Lib Dems in some areas, and that might damage them. They may lose some seats in Scotland, and some of the seats that they need to win, to win a big majority or to win any majority, they have to take directly off Labour. And that might not be as easy as people think. People tend to talk about these kind of Labour leave seats, but you have to remember, as I'm sure you know, that most people who voted Labour in those seats voted to remain in the European Union. They don't necessarily want to leave the EU. So I think the Conservatives have probably got slightly more problems than their opinion poll lead at the moment indicates. However, if you put everything together, I think it's quite difficult right now, and of course things can change, to see why the Tories would lose this election.